Hi, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. It is Friday. We are so happy to have some time with you today as you finish out your week. Some of you are celebrating some holidays this week. I know that some of you are back in the office. Some of us are back in school. There's a lot getting back to happening for sure. But, even with all of that, there's also just a lot that has been happening all along. And today we are going to talk about an organization and talk with Melanie from the organization, who has been going nonstop. They have not taken a break and not stopped, because they are about supporting our local community. And I wanted to bring this conversation to you today because I know sometimes we all think about how can we support our local community and what organizations are out there. And as I always talk about on our little show here, is our nonprofit community organizations like the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. We are all here committed to serving those in need, and we all do it in different ways, but I like to think that together we weave together a safety net for our community. And it's so important that we all work side by side and support each other, because by doing that, we definitely create a stronger network for those who we serve. As you know, the YWCA, our focus is, and our programs are in a couple of areas, like our sexual violence program, Healing Space, our women's empowerment programming, our racial justice work. But all of these opportunities, all these programs that we do are all connected to people who are also connected to other organizations, like the one we're talking to today, which is the Ironbound Community Corporation, and it is in Newark, New Jersey. Their mission is to engage and empower individuals, families, and volunteers in realizing their aspirations and to create a just, vibrant, and sustainable community. So you can see why I'm a fangirl of this organization, because they are, very closely linked to the work that we do as well. And as I shared, I do believe that together we all create a safety net for our community, so we must be working side by side. I've been following the work of this organization for some time and always so impressed with the scope of their work, the depth of their work, and their team for sure. And so with that, I'm very grateful that Melanie Reyes, who's the director of the Financial Opportunity Center of the Ironbound Community Corporation, could join us this morning so we could talk a little bit about the work of the organization. So welcome, Melanie. So happy to have you here today. So I'm going to give you guys a little background on Melanie, though, before we jump in, so that you know who we're talking to today and tell you a little bit about her. She is a native of Newark, New Jersey, and she is passionate about community development since her youth. This is not new for her. Her mother's work with the Department of Children and Families exposed her to the structural inequalities faced by communities of color. And it just seemed natural for her that she would walk in her mother's footsteps and do important work like she's doing today. She spent time at LISC AmeriCorps, where she found her calling, building the financial well-being of individuals in the community. More than 5 years later, she is currently the director of the Financial Opportunity Center, as I shared, and the center itself is a career and financial coaching service that helps low to moderate income community members build smart money habits and focus on the financial bottom line. Her vision for herself is to inspire others to take interest in bettering the community, as well as helping people of color build generational wealth and a financial toolkit for success in an economic system that was built, unfortunately, for the opposition of their best interest. But she is working hard, so is her organization, to be able to, and alongside with our work in terms of trying to impact systemic racism, we are trying to attack those systems and make them right. And so with that, welcome, Melanie. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Helen. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be on and to get to speak to some of the opportunities at the Ironbound Community Corporation for volunteering.
Yes, and before we jump into it, I just have to ask you, because you are a generational, this is work that, in some ways, you grew up watching, your mother doing, and now you're doing it. And it, I'm familiar with where your mother worked and the work that she did, because of my background and the work that I've done as a social worker myself. So I'm curious, though, because you really focused on the financial piece, which is very specific, but we know is so linked, especially to racism, and economic equality is key to eliminating racism, in terms of our work. So I love that you're so focused there. Tell us about your personal background that kind of helped you step into this space, because you always think of finance and business majors, as being the people that would be the financial gurus to help people plan in this area.
I think, so my LISC AmeriCorps role, and AmeriCorps is a volunteer, LISC is a corporation it's national. So I was actually placed as an AmeriCorps. You're serving a community. You're not an employee. You're a volunteer of the organization that you're served with. I was the financial coach at the time. And it was fresh out of college. I'm a psychology major. I was literally like, okay, this is where I feel like personally I can make a change. So it was all about just learning how our community members that we were serving understood things, or what their relationship was with money, and trying to better understand how to change the behaviors of individuals and their relationship with money at a really young age. And being at the Ironbound Community Corporation, which is where I served my term as an AmeriCorps, was really great, because we have programs that start off. Our organization was funded as an early learning center. That's still a really big part of our organization. So to be able to be in this role and start with families of children who are in that age and see the actual change in behaviors and the change in, honestly, the system and different services that are available to the community that maybe people were not aware of in the past, has really been the highlight, and why I'm still doing it. There is a way, and we're on the path to it. So I think that's been the most motivating factor. I've also thought, there's so much you can learn being a personal finance major, but being personable, and you have to be a social worker at heart. So I don't think it's the financial guru piece that's helpful in a role like this. It's more of the being able to understand folks and coming from that environment.
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, we often hear the term financial counseling, right? And the counseling is really a big piece of it, because as you shared, it really is, it's like people talk about working out and exercising. It's a muscle. It's a muscle that you have to build. It's retraining your brain, as if, these are things we think about sometimes with our eating habits, or our exercise habits, but our financial habits really are in that same vein and that same space.
Yes.
So I love that. So let's start with just talking about the Ironbound Community Corporation. Tell us about the organization as a whole, and then let's get more focused about your program, because again, we love the opportunity to be able to spotlight our fellow nonprofits, across our region, so that our community knows where to go to get involved.
Great. So the Ironbound Community Corporation, or as we typically call it, the acronym is the ICC. We're a multi-service community-based organization rooted and representative of the ethnically diverse neighborhood of Newark. And we are in the Ironbound. We're founded in 1969 by residents, and our mission is to engage and empower individuals, families, and groups in realizing their aspirations, and together work to create a just, vibrant, and sustainable community. Our three key focus areas are advocacy and organizing, early childhood, and youth and family programs. Our advocacy and organizing focuses on environmental justice and community development. It's deeply rooted in supporting and amplifying the voices of our community members. And through this work, we've helped to pass the most progressive environmental justice bill in the country. Really excited about that. We were founded originally to provide care and education to Ironbound's children by Ironbound residents. So ICC's Early Learning Center is at the heart of who we are. We serve children from 0 to pre-K 4. I'm not sure what age that is. And at the ELC, we provide early child care and educations to babies, toddlers, preschoolers, and also we provide a holistic support for the families there with all of our other services. And through our youth and family programs, we offer support for families through after-school programs and summer youth programming. We definitely have immigration justice programming, our Family Success Center, and our Financial Opportunity Center as well.
So there's so much packed in there. And, you know, I love when an organization kind of has that mix of doing, you know, working directly with boots on the ground, you know, with people in the community, but at the same time, you know, elevating those voices in kind of a macro way, you know, from an advocacy perspective, and being able to make the kind of impact like you all, you know, as you know, you shared were key, and some, you know, key legislation, you know, being passed in this state, you know, to help all. So let's talk specifically about your program now.
Beautiful. I guess I'll add, I think I need an updated bio, but since COVID-19, you know, happened, the pandemic took over, I'm also leading our COVID-19 relief and response efforts, as well as our Financial Opportunity Center. It's been interesting.
That makes sense. I'm sure that there's a lot happening there. So let's talk about both. Let's start with talking about the center, and then let's talk about the COVID-19 impact and how it's shifted and changed your work.
Great. Okay. Do you have any specific questions about the about the Financial Opportunity Center? Or would you just like me to tell you all a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, let's start with you just giving us a general synopsis in case anyone's not familiar and they want to connect someone with resources.
Great. Well, can I give you I'm just going to give you all a little bit of data about the median household income for the Ironbound area. And also just the community, if that's okay. So the Ironbound section of Newark is a multicultural, multiracial mosaic with a population of about 52,000 people. This was according to the census in 2010. I don't have the updated information yet. I feel the Ironbound, I'm from the Ironbound, born and raised. So the Ironbound has welcomed new waves of immigrants with each passing decade. And we have, in the city of Newark, we have a very diverse neighborhood. I think it's about split evenly between the Latino population and community members who are people of color, Black, African-American individuals, and a small population of white folks. Our observation is that there's a growing presence of Latino community members, and including increasingly more and more undocumented community members. And there's a small Arab community represented in the Ironbound as well. It's a 2 square mile community, and it's densely populated and is intersped with commerce and industry, whose legacy have left a wake of environmental issues causing disproportionate rate of illness among Ironbound community members, including high rates of asthma in children. I think that's all really important to note because of the work we do. So the median household income for the Ironbound area ranged from $33,000 to $61,000 compared to the state of New Jersey with a median of 72. In Newark, 75% of households with an income between $25,000 and $50,000 are liquid asset poor. Liquid asset poverty is greater in households led by someone with no education above a high school diploma, and a quarter of Newark households are identified as unbanked or underbanked. Additionally, 38% of Newark's population receives the federal earned income tax credit, but only 4% are utilizing free tax prep services, like the one we have available as a volunteer opportunity, to receive their refund. I just wanted to state that before getting into all of the work we do.
Just to give the context, that's great context. Thank you.
No problem. In 2017, we launched our Financial Opportunity Center, and it's a career and personal finance service center that helps our community members focus on their financial goals. And we do that through integrating our services, which are employment, coaching, financial coaching, access to income supports, and free tax preparation program. After the pandemic, we realized the digital divide always existed, but it was really exposed during the pandemic. So within our FOC, we now offer digital literacy coaching support as well for our community members and our families. So our Financial Opportunity Center aims to support personal advancement and economic stability for individuals, families, and small businesses. Our core services build upon each other as we work to empower and provide support to our residents of Newark and all of Essex County. Our services facilitate change in financial behavior in a way that encourages the community we serve to make a long-term commitment to increasing income, decreasing expenses, and acquiring assets. For many families, working families, the cycle of negative monthly net incomes creates a sense of futility around finances and work. When we see monthly cash flow moves from negative to positive, career advancements become part of a larger picture of financial stability. And our FOC participants feel encouraged and empowered to address credit, savings, and the longer-term career planning. Our program aims to help our community members build assets, generational equity, and a financial toolkit for success. And our program data demonstrates a clear association between receiving our core services, particularly combining our employment and different trainings we offer free of cost, employment coaching and training, and financial coaching services. The data demonstrates having improved employment and financial outcomes.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about our Financial Opportunity Center.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that we know that having these types of programs really, really makes an impact and is life-changing for people. So it's wonderful that you all are there, have been there since the year I was born. So you have been there for the long haul, and clearly each year becoming more and more relevant in terms of supporting the community, even as the makeup changes. So I know that volunteers are key in your work. Like the YW, we don't do this alone, and our budgets, as grateful as we are for every dollar we receive, never cover all of the work that we're able to do in terms of salaries. That a lot of it really gets, a lot of our work in the community happens because of people bringing their talents to the organization in an in-kind manner and helping make all of the things you just talked about happen. So can you talk a little bit about the types of volunteer opportunities and how you utilize volunteers at the ICC?
Sure. So I agree with the budget, but it's not always about the budget. I think volunteering is so important because it enables individuals to help in other ways, and it's so selfless, and it's great to meet individuals through volunteering, and it's just something I live by. I volunteer so often. So I'm glad to be on. I will start with our food distribution, like you all have on the screen. I think that is a program that we have had to ramp up because the need for food has been exacerbated after the pandemic. Typically, we would only operate one food distribution program prior to COVID. Now we offer food. We've become an emergency food pantry after COVID. We're officially a food pantry. The volunteer programs, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. The volunteer opportunities that we have for our food programming are typically on Thursdays and Fridays. Thursdays are our big day for that. And our program is called Table to Table. We partner with Table to Table, and every Thursday we receive donations of fresh food to distribute to our community members, and anybody can come. So the tasks that are included in performing this volunteer service are bagging and preparing the donation bags for distribution. There's the cleanup and breakdown. So the breakdown of boxes and maintaining a safe work environment. Driving, we have delivery to homebound residents. Homebound could mean a senior that can't leave their home. It could be someone who is sick with COVID. We have a relationship with the Department of Health where the care coordinators connect residents with resources. So we do homebound deliveries, or somebody who may have just had a baby. And then runners, which are placing prepared bags in designated spaces like vans, pickup queues, and etc. Those are some of the opportunities we have available through our food distribution program.
And that's, as you said, it's always been important, but it is especially key during this time. And, as if COVID hadn't created enough of an issue, Ida definitely exacerbated things significantly for people. So, it's important that those of you out there that have the opportunity, have the time, connect with your networks and, sign on for doing such important work like this.
Yes, we do have a form. I'm not sure if I could share that.
Well, we have, just so you know, if there is something, you can stick it into our private chat and we'll try to get it posted. But what I'll tell our viewers, as we always do, as you can see here in the comments, we have the link to the Ironbound Community Corporation's website. You can go there and all the information that we're talking about will be there in more detail. And I'm sure the form that Melanie is referencing, as well as, other important key phone numbers and contact information is there too. And, we also always encourage everyone to seek out these organizations on social media, stay connected to them there as well. That is very often where they're posting different opportunities, different programs, and it's so easy it's such a light lift for those of us. We're on social media anyway, scrolling and reading, everybody's posts. It's such a great way to amplify the important work of an organization by just sharing their information. As you can see here, we've dropped in the volunteer sign-up form for you. You can go to it and just complete it, send it in, and Melanie and her team there we'll be in touch to engage you in one of these important roles. So you gave us some ideas, about what volunteering, opportunities are available at the ICC. And now we have the link where we can go to actually sign up. You mentioned earlier that your role changed over this time of COVID because as with many of our organizations, we all had to kind of shift quickly to be able to support the needs, that have been identified in our community. How has your work changed at your organization and within your department during this time? And obviously, we know yours changed. You got a new add-on to your job responsibilities and your job title. And is there something different or additional that, as the community members, that we can be doing to specifically help our community with the issues that have popped up during this time? I mean, those of us who work in the field know, and we see this all the time on YWTV, none of these issues are new that we've been dealing with. They've just been spotlighted and exacerbated significantly because of this time, whether it was a digital divide or the decrease. These things always existed. It's just now we've become more aware of them. And, my hope is we can't close our eyes to them and we just keep moving forward and addressing them.
I think our work has changed drastically. I'm not even really used to seeing our community members in person at this point anymore. I don't know. They don't know how to react to, typically in our community we hug. So, hugging isn't really, so it's not that we don't know how to react to one another. It's just what is the new etiquette for hello. Yeah. So at the peak of the virus, of the spread of the virus, the stay-at-home order, it was interesting to help our community members understand we were still available to serve them. It just had to be in a different way. We opened our doors back up immediately for food distribution. I know we're on that topic, and that's the only programming that ran in person. In September, we opened our doors for a remote learning site for school-age children whose parents might have had to, get to work and didn't have a place to leave their child. It was really it was amazing to open that up, but that also opened up the door. The digital divide, again, we knew folks had been it had been exposed. A lot of people in our community don't have internet, don't have access to their own computer, don't have the resources that another person might have. So some of the children coming in the door had not signed into school yet, and it was like a year ago, September 15th. So it was interesting to take that in and see how we can work with our community members to make sure they are equipped with the tools they'll need to be as successful as everybody else in this new digital world. So I think it's important for us to hone in on the digital literacy skills and just empowering other folks starting at a young age. And I think our young folks now are just very equipped with the tools needed. But in our communities, some individuals might not have the same resources. So just ensuring, for mobile banking, it's all around the board. Something so simple can be done through the phone. Just tackling that divide, I think, is really important. Something folks should keep in mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm so grateful to you and the entire team at ICC for the work that you do. It's no small feat what you had been doing, let alone what you continue to do and took on additionally during this time. And for our viewers, as I always say, all of our organizations really rely on volunteers, on donations, on community support to help us do our work. There's so many great organizations out there. I always encourage people to support the YWCA in Northern New Jersey, but I also encourage them to, learn about other organizations and consider supporting them as well. And here is another great one. I can personally attest because I, get the emails regularly about the work that you're doing, the programs that you have, the outreach that you do in the community, the linkages that you provide. And, they are key, they are important, and they really are about sustaining and supporting and really changing our communities. So if you want to be part of that effort, if you really want to be part of a lifeline and a change opportunity, supporting the ICC is one of the places where you really should consider putting your efforts. Melanie, any last comments before we sign off today?
I just want to give a little bit of information on our 3 other departments where you could volunteer. We have a Family Success Center, and our Family Success Center seeks to provide a warm and welcoming home-like environment that provides family-friendly activities and resources with communities to strengthen families. So if you have a skill, if you love baking, if you love nutrition, if you know how to do yoga and can teach other folks, we are always looking for volunteers for our family programming, which our Family Success Center has now in-person programming back going on. I know they do at least 4 events a month, and we're always looking for new things to bring to the community. So please reach out, check our website for that. Also, we have an urban farm. It's called Down Bottom Farms. They have an Instagram as well. We have a bazaar going on there October 23rd. You can feel free to stop by or just volunteer if you like. And every Saturday and Tuesday, I think up until the end of October, there are volunteer opportunities on the farm. I am not a farmer, but I think right now they're putting everything down, getting ready for the upcoming season. So you can follow them at Down Bottom Farms on Instagram. I'm sure their link is on our website somewhere as well. And for our Financial Opportunity Center, we're always looking for volunteers to assist with calling and scheduling appointments, or that's actually done via email. So emailing and scheduling appointments for income support application follow-ups, assistance with outreach and marketing, email blasts, social media posts, mass texting. It's a big part of what we do. Sending reminders. We have an upcoming job fair on October 6th. We also, if you're into researching, we'd always love volunteers for researching trends for products and services within the community that will benefit people in the community we serve. And our volunteer income tax assistance program is getting ready to launch. You have
you
to
were looking for volunteers for that just recently. I know you were looking for so
yes.
let folks know about that. That's a specific skill set, but it's a great opportunity to volunteer.
Yes, it sounds like a specific skill set, but it's a skill set that's very easy to acquire if you want to learn how to do taxes. The IRS, we're actually certified by the IRS. You have to become certified by the IRS. It's a pretty intimidating training, but it's super simple. We are here to support anybody who's interested. It's really great for high school students that might be going into college. I know we all think, oh my goodness, maybe a senior is doing my taxes. Some of our best volunteers are seniors in high school. This is the basic level of tax preparation. We are not doing anybody who owns a home or has rental income. It's very simple. You must be certified by the IRS. You can reach out to me directly, or my information's on our website. This program is for us to prepare free tax returns for our community members. Of course, tax season is typically February through April 15th. We start the last week of January and go 1 month after the deadline. Typically, the deadline's April 15. Another thing that the pandemic changed is our tax season and our tax laws. So we will see how it goes this year with the deadline, but we're always typically open all year round as a tax service center, but don't really need volunteers only in that time frame. It's really rewarding. And if you're in college in the accounting field, it can be an internship. You can get credit for school. And it's great.
That's wonderful. I mean, that I didn't realize that anyone could get trained to do it, but it is a great opportunity for someone who's in school as well. So I'm so glad that you shared that. Folks, lots to do with the Ironbound Community Corporation. So I hope you enjoyed watching today's show. Please share it with someone in your life that you think could benefit from the information, or just work it into your casual conversation with them about something you learned today. That's why YWTV exists, to help us spread the word, and you're part of that and can help make it happen. So Melanie, thank you so much again for joining us today and making the time. Clearly, we know you're busy, but we appreciate that you took a little break today from your regular responsibilities to join us to share some information. And for our viewers, we first of all hope you have a fabulous, safe, fun weekend, restful, and get it all together again so you could jump back in on Monday. Although I know everyone doesn't get the weekends off, but for those of you that do, and for those of you that are working, we hope you get some rest in there too. Next week we have a wonderful, list of shows for you coming. So we look forward to being and spending some time with you for them. And in the interim, please spend some time on our website. We're going to put our link here of some programs that we have upcoming. Especially, I want to make sure that you know that on September 30th, we have an important virtual intergenerational discussion for Black women on mental health and the importance of dismantling the stigma around that. We also have a wellness event scheduled on September 25th at the Riverdale High School. We hope you join us there. And also, we have our Business Essentials program. We're accepting applications through October 25th for any non-white women entrepreneurs that are looking to help get some support in launching their business. There is no charge for the program. Just join us and you'll get connected to lots of great free resources. For our seniors, please think about signing up for any of our virtual wellness classes, chair yoga, Zumba, Fit and Fabulous. There's no charge for any of them, and it's a great opportunity to keep your mind and body still very vital. We wish everyone a great weekend. Melanie, thank you again for your time. And everyone have a great day. Thanks for starting it with us. Bye-bye.